Hello everyone, Yellow Guy Fire Alarm here, and today we're gonna go over with the System Center Math series. And for this video is tutorial guide. Now all these System Center Maths over here are different. Some of them may be the same, some of them may be completely different, and there are tutorials and guides on that particular part. Now you can look at the video description and skip to any guides or any information you want to know about the math series. Other than that, enjoy the tutorial video. So let's get started with the first one. And now we're going to teach you how to change the tone on your System Center Math devices. Now, all three devices are math and one isn't. So there will be this one over here, this is the System Center MAEH, and the rest is the MASS. However, let's just go with the simple and the most common one that everybody has. So, the System Center Math. If you someone got the devices from a used condition, or let's say it can taken out from a building that is upgrading their fire alarm system, you're gonna need a manual, and you need to know how to change the tones and stuff. Now, I'm gonna put the picture right now. You can pause the video, take a screenshot if you want the key of how to change the tone or what clip you need to change. Now, on your System Center Math, your default tone will be 800 continuous. So it will be only clip B and C, and then you're going to have an extra clip to the side. Now this is the clip holder. What this do is stores your clips, so if you need to change your tone, you simply take it off and you plug it in, and basically, that's changed the tone from 800 Hz continuous to slow whoop. So basically, pretty simple, straightforward. What you need is a flat screwdriver, and if you want to change the tone, you can pry it off, and do whatever you wish. And you can, and like I said with this picture, take a look, figure out what tone you want, and you're good to go. So pretty much in this configuration, the tone will be pretty much 2400 Hz continuous, which is, I'm not in favor of that clip, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back in. But yeah, that's pretty much how you change the tone on a MASS series. And now we're gonna get on to the MAEH series because it's pretty much different. It's the same, but it's different. Now, on the MAEH, your factory's tone will be electrical mechanical horn. Now, the clips will be like this. I put it like this for example, but it would look like this. Now, it's the same thing pretty much. I'm going to go ahead and show the manual. So, I'm going to take a picture right now up here. Pause if you need it. Basically, the same thing as the mask. What you do is you take this off, and you just plug it in. I'm just going to plug it to B. And these things, there you go, B. I'll put it to B. And that will be bell. So, pretty much the same logic. If you want to take it off, you just pretty much fire it off with a flat screwdriver. And you can put it back to your clip housing. And that's pretty much how you change the tone on an MAEH. So, that's pretty much summed it up. If you have any more questions on these devices, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will gladly answer your questions. Anyway, that concludes the tutorial on how to change your tone on your System Center MASS and MAEH. In this part, you're going to know how to change the System Center MASS first generation tone. Now, there's a way you can get around breaking the tab, but it requires you to do something that might be a little complicated, but I gave it a try and it works for me. But without further ado, let's get over with the manual for this particular device. Now, you're going to go ahead. I'm going to show this right now. I'm going to put the picture right now. And this is how you change the tone on these devices. Now, keep in mind, on tap to break, think in reverse way. For example, A would mean clip B and C would still have connection while clip A does not have any connection. And for example, say break tab B, that means tab A and C will be disconnected while tab B will have a clip in. Basically reverse. So without further ado, let me teach you how to turn this device into a selectable device. On the back, this is pretty different than other system sensor mass design. As you can see, this is the potential monitor to change the tone. Basically, the pitch of the tone. It can go high or low, but I set it to default, so pretty much that's the overview of the board. What you want to do, you're going to want to try to remove the board. So you're going to see these two things. This one is already broken, and to remove it, you need a flat screwdriver, and you need to carefully push this open out and try to pull the board out while you're at it. Carefully pull the board out whatever you can when you put this in, and there you go. That's pretty much how you get this out. And after you get it out, what you want to do is, you see here, I borrowed this clip from my LO. What you want to do is you want to scratch up all these joints. Make sure you scratch this to the middle, and then you scratch this two side, and do it carefully, and make sure you cut it off so where it can make connection with this, so that when you change the tone, it will simply change the tone with it. However, I don't know how you're going to be able to find these kind of clips, but you can try to go to Home Depot and see if you can find these clips and try it out for yourself. So this is basically how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into the board, and as you can see, there will be a soldering joint that connect all these three together. What you're going to need to do is continuously scratch until you can break these two together, and then you're going to scratch over here and on the side, and after that you should try to borrow the clip. I did borrow from my LO because it's 12 volt and I can't use it. You can just simply plug it in like this, and just as I said to the manual, let's say for example I want to do 800 continuous. So it said tab to break is tab A. So that basically means this tab here and this tab here needs connection. And that will basically do slow whoop. Fast variable, it said all tab needs to be broken. That basically means this and this needs to be removed, and that will do fast variable. And that's pretty much how to change the tone on this. Now, I will advise you to be very careful if you're going to scratch like I did, and make sure you do not make any shorts or any short concepts, because these boards are very prone to, getting short. And this one appears to be weatherproof. They have all this gooey stuff on it, I guess to protect against weather or whatever it is. But that is basically how I made my system sensor first generation mass tone selectable. So yeah, if you don't want to break a tab and be stuck with a tone permanently, you can do it that route. And that's how I was able to make a video a while ago on this alarm going off in all tones. So that's pretty much some how to change the tone in the first generation system sensor mass. Now I'm going to teach you how to change the splash rate on the system sensor MAEH 88 series. Now, you cannot change the flash rate on the Strobe or the LO series because these do not come with the potential monitor. So basically, any LO or pre-88 strobes will not work. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to get started with the simple one. So we're going to move these two devices out of the way. For this, you need at least a small Phillips screwdriver so you can access the back of the device pretty easily. So what you need to do is remove these two screws. After you remove the two screws, you want to take the two screws and put it to the side and save it somewhere. After that, you're going to hold the top of the device, pull up the clear lens cover, followed by the reflector. After that, you're going to look for this red thing right here on the left side of the capacitor. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your big Phillips screwdriver or maybe any kind of screwdriver you can fit in. I really don't recommend a Phillips. Yes, something like this. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna change it around. It seems like just take a hexagon screw, but I don't know if I have it. Let me take a look right now. And in this case, it seems to use a 5, that's 64. You really don't have to use it. You just need to find a way to make sure you can be able to change that potentiometer. For this video's sake, I'm gonna just use the regular one. So, you put this in here, and you twist it to the left if you want it to be slower, and you twist it to the right if you want it to be faster. And you're gonna feel something once you achieve it. So once you pick what satisfies you and how much is your flash or whatever, you can go ahead and cover it. Now I recommend you to be very careful if you're gonna test this while having this thing, you know, flash or whatever, because you do not want to touch their dial, their capacitors, and all that other circuitry, because if you short it, I don't know, man, that's what I'm gonna say. If you short it, you short it. So basically, just be careful and know what you're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it at all. After you're satisfied with the flash rate or whatever, you're gonna put it back, and pretty much it's a reverse way how you take it off. So this goes in first, and this goes in second, and just pretty much tell, just know the longest one goes on the top first, and this goes in the bottom second. If you do it reverse, you won't be able to put it in. So make sure you put this in first, and then that second, and then after that, you put the cover, and then you get the screw, and you screw it back in basically. And that's basically how you change the strobe on the SS88 version. So we're gonna get to the MAEH 88 version. Now this is a bit complicated. I would advise you, if you don't want to go through that step, I will just leave it the way it be. But if you still want to change the flash rate or do whatever you want, this is how you do it. On the mass version, I do not know if it have one of these plugs on the strobe or not, but all of them seems to come with a little pointy thing. I will get to that later. So if you have the one that's being used or in service, you want to remove this screw. If you have one new embossed like this one, you can just basically pull it up. But let me go ahead and unscrew this really quick. After you unscrew it, what you want to do is carefully hold the body like this part and start pulling it up like this. Rock it back and forth and start pulling it up. Add a little pressure, pulling it out, and then after you pull it out, you should be able to, you know, pretty much that's how you pull it out. Now you won't break the device. I'll tell you what's going on here. So the way the device works is that I have this little pointy thing and the hole in there. It's what makes the connection to the strobe on the side right here, as you can see. So doing this will not harm the strobe, so you don't have to worry about it if you're doing this. What would I advise you to do is, after you pull it off, remember how you pull it off and sit the device like this, so you don't end up wiring it backward. But it fell down, it's whatever. So it's just gonna be this way. But make sure you remember. And if you don't remember somehow, the right side is red, the other side is black. You need to remember it, because if you don't remember it and you wire it backward, the strobe won't flash and you're gonna think, oh, I broke it. So always remember that. So we got the sounder off, and pretty much the same process. You get the screwdriver and you take both of these off. After you take both of the screw off, take the screw to the side, and same process as the SS version. You just take off the lens, and this time it's different because since there's nothing attached to the board, it can come out easily, but I will just advise you to keep it on the board. So same thing, take this off, and you take it to the side, and the potentiometer is right there. The only difference is the board is newer, so it's gonna look a little darker, but same process. Make sure you have a flat screwdriver or whatever screwdriver that can fit in there and change, but for now I'm using the 5/64. So you put it in here, you change it whatever you want to change. Left is slow and to your right is faster. So once you're satisfied whatever you want to change, that's pretty much it. Now I need to explain why you want to remember this. As you can see to the side, it said red and the other side said black. If you somewhat forgot which way it goes and you put this back in, just make sure you do it the other way. And trust me, putting this back in is pain. Now, if you want to test this while, you know, doing your thing, you can give it a try. But this is gonna be a little difficult. What you can do is you poke it back to the hole, and you know, you can just take this off and poke it through the hole. Find where the hole at. And trust me when I say it's painful, it is. And as you can see, there's a little hole there. And what you want to do is have something flat and punch it. Just punch it through whatever you can. I got that one in. Now I have to get this one in. And to show how painful it is, which is why I don't advise you to do this, because it's really difficult to put back in, but it's easy to take out. So, see, as you can see, after that, you have to just push it down. There we go. And you can see, pointing out, and you're gonna have to push this all the way in. Be careful not to hit yourself. But pretty much it. And then you can try to put it in from this way. Just make sure you can line it up like this, and carefully push it in. And then there you go. You make connection with both of these, and you can test it that way. But again, I would not recommend if you don't like to go through this process like I'm doing right now, because it's pretty difficult to put this, to paste this back together, but easy to take it out. So same thing, change whatever it is, and once you're satisfied or whatever you like it, I'm just gonna put this to I'm gonna put this to a little bit fast, like that. Once you're satisfied, reverse process, you have to take this out now, and you can see why. And you can see why I don't recommend this. And over here, there's a pointy thing right here, and you gotta make sure you mash it to this hole right here, otherwise it won't let you put in. Simple as that, like that. And as the reverse process, same thing. This goes in first, and then this goes in last. And make sure you do it right. There you go. Afterwards, you take the gun, put it back in, and then you put the screw back in. And after you put it together, you can go ahead and put it back in. Make sure you remember that this side is red and the other side is black. Now, oh Lord, putting this back together is gonna make your screen in unison. So just prepare for it. So to make it a little easier, what you're gonna do is try to poke these things to the hole as much as you can. And I can't show it on camera because it requires me to look away from the camera. There we go. And then after you get it together, just hit it in, and it will let you plug it in. Okay, good, simple as that. You do the same thing to the other side. And it took me 3 minutes to plug this in. After that, you can put your screw or where the screw to hold the strobe back in, and you're pretty much done. Let me go ahead and put it back in really quick. And that's a tutorial on how to change the flash rate on the System Center MAEH 80A series. However, it still won't work if you have an MAEH as this, but it's pretty much the same thing because the strobe is 80A. This all work on 80A strobes. If you have an LO strobe or the scratcher strobe like I mentioned earlier, it won't work with that. But if I'll be honest, I will do it on this one compared to this one because of how difficult it is to plug back in. So it's pretty much on how to change the flash rate on the System Center MAEH 80A. And that concludes the tutorial on how to set up the system sensor mask and pretty much everything with it. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it a comment. I will gladly answer it for you. And that's pretty much it. So, I hope this video is helpful. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in a comment. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. Now, in the future, I'll be making more tutorial videos like this. But other than that, I hope you all have a great day and see you on the next one.